Uno Wanna know ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
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 ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
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 ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
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 ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
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 ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
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 ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no, oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no, oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no,
ayo yo yo,
oh no no, oh no no, Wanna
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
Ayo,
Wanna know
ayo yo yo, 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 ayo ayo yo yo, 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 ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo
no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
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 ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
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 ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
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 ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
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 ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna no,
あよ
Wanna know Wanna know no,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
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 ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
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 ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
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 ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
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 ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know, wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know, wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo,
wanna know,
ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo, ayo yo yo,
wanna know.
Just keep it inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed to get it out what's in my head. And I need a picture. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high. And I think to the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, what's going on? And I say, I say,
tries.
Oh my God, do I try? I try all the time in this institution.
And he prays.
Oh my God, do I pray? I pray every single day.
Yeah.
Forever the show. And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, what's going on? And I say, just keep it inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. What's going on? Yeah. And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it out of what's in my head. And I feel it, a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high. And I say to the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on?
And he tries.
Oh my God, do I try? I try all the time in this institution.
And he prays.
Oh my God, do I pray? I pray every single day.
Yeah.
Forever the show. And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, what's going on? And I say, yeah, just keep it inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. What's going on? Yeah. And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it out of what's in my head. And I feel it, a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high. And I say to the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, yeah, inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed to get it out what's in my head. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high and loud. Think to the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on? And he tries. Oh my God, do I try? I try all the time in this institution.
And he prays.
Oh my God, do I pray? I pray every single day.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, what's going on? And I say, don't, yeah. Just keep it inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. What's going on? Yeah. And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed to get it out what's in my head. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high and loud. Think to the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on? And he tries. Oh my God, do I try? I try all the time in this institution.
And he prays.
Oh my God, do I pray? I pray every single day.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, what's going on? And I say, don't, yeah. Just keep it inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. What's going on? Yeah. And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed to get it out what's in my head. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high and loud. Think to the top of my lungs, what's going
tries.
Oh my God, do I try? I try all the time in this institution.
And he prays.
Oh my God, do I pray? I pray every single day.
Grr.
And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, what's going on? And I say, yeah, just keep it inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. What's going on? Yeah! And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it out of what's in my head. I need a peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high. And I sit to the top of my lungs. What's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on?
And he tries.
Oh my God, do I try? I try all the time in this institution.
And he prays.
Oh my God, do I pray? I pray every single day.
Grr.
And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, what's going inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. What's going on? Yeah! And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed to get it out what's in my head. And and so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and get real high and I sit to the top of my lungs. What's going on?
Here we are in the Assyrian stairwell. Located in Building 7, one of the first structures put up when RIT made the move from downtown Rochester to suburban Henrietta. The stairwell, designed by Filipino architect Rafael Nelson of Oganda, was built in 1968 and has been wowing RIT students ever since.
Yo guys, have you seen this before? This is MC Escher. He was an artist who was also heavily into maths and known today as the king of illusions for drawing a lot of works on paper like the famous Escherian staircase. And what I showed you at the beginning was back in 2013, a video was released that claimed to have found an actual working Escherian staircase. And believe it or not, when I first watched this video, I actually thought the staircase was real. I mean, hey, what can I say? I probably was a bit too old to be falling for this stuff at the age of 21, but I've come a long way in my understanding of the world, alright? But of course, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it just might be my little homie Dilbert. And as it turns out, this was a piece done by a film producer by the name of Michael Lacaniliano. God damn it. Michael Lacanilao. I don't know. Using just good old-fashioned movie magic. However, this doesn't mean that the Escher illusions aren't possible to build in real life. Take this illusion for example. It can be 3D printed if you want to. In fact, they built an actual one for the movie Inception. Although naturally it loses what makes it cool unless it's viewed from a very specific angle, but you get the concept. And here is my favorite illusion, which still to this day kinda hurts my brain. Check this out.
And now I can, at the Exploratorium, San Francisco's Science Museum. How did I do it? The easy way. By manipulating your perception.
Can you guess how it's done? I'm sure some of you probably already seen this. It's quite old. But if you want to, pause the video now and post in the comments to give it a guess. But the way this is done is by presenting a room that has more depth you can perceive as a flat, regular, just standard room. You can make people look like they grow or shrink in size. Yo, it's mad, man. You can't tell me this doesn't hurt your brain. Which brings us to the other day. This Escherian staircase popped up on my Twitter feed, and I immediately thought about how I was fooled all those years ago. But after looking at it for a few seconds, I almost instantly was able to visualize how it could actually exist as a real 3D object. And so naturally, as the mind does with any unidentifiable object, I wanted to try and see more angles of this object and get a better understanding of it. You know, like this classic dragon dog thing cut out, for example. You think it's just a flat piece of paper until you change the angle you're looking at it, and then you're like, whoa. And so I thought, obviously, someone had to make this object already. It has to be out there. I tried searching for the 3D model and nothing came up. Tried searching for just the reveal of the illusion itself and again, empty-handed. And so I sat there and I thought, well, don't mind if I do. Look, what I'm trying to say is, I didn't choose to model this infinite staircase. The infinite staircase chose me to model it. Listen, I'm just saying. And so I booted up Blender, used the image of the Escher staircase as a reference, and got to work. And a couple hours later, I had, well, something. It's nowhere near as cool as you probably think. In fact, you probably would not want to walk these stairs. But it actually does work. You want to see? Here's the staircase model that I made in Unity, preserved in the original angle of the concept. And here is Forrest, a fully 3D model avatar. No tricks or gotchas there. And here is Forrest running laps around the Escher staircase. He can run up the stairs forever. He can run down the stairs forever. Forrest just feels like running. He can grab a friend, run up the stairs 2 times, and high-five a standing friend both times that he passes him. We can get a bunch of friends and have them all follow each other to infinitely connect the top floor to the bottom one. All the tricks are here. I present to you the actual infinite staircase. But of course, there's 2 strange things about this staircase that makes this illusion work. The first strange thing is the shading of the stairs. If we give the stairs a more natural shading, you'll start to better understand the tricks and gotchas of the infinite staircase. And the strange thing number 2 is, of course, the locked angle that I used to show you all of that. If we simply move the camera from this angle, you'll see why you probably don't want to walk these stairs anytime soon. Are you ready? Here we go. Basically, in order for this to work, you of course legitimately need the height difference between the top and bottom step. But because this isn't magic, they need to connect. And this platform has a crazy slope to try and connect the top and bottom step. Not impossible to walk, but still crazy nonetheless. Which with the correct angle and lighting helps hide that slope. And you also notice that these stairs aren't exactly steps. It wouldn't exactly be easy to walk this. But yeah, that's basically my take on the infinite staircase. I think it would be ultra cool to somehow build a 2-scale staircase using this model so that we could see this illusion in real life, but that's really expensive and quite needless for a YouTube video. And so I guess for now, we're stuck with only being able to 3D print it, which if you want to, the file to do so is in the description, as well as the link to the simulation that I've been using for this video. I put this little simulation up on my website. I don't know what's there if you want to play with it. All the links are in the description. Please subscribe, follow me on social medias, and I'll see you at the altar.
Alright, thanks for watching. Is less than epsilon. Okay.
One, two, MatPat's coming for you. 3, 4, with a theory about gore. 5, 6, throw some science in the mix. 7, 8, gonna settle the debate. 9, 10, Freddy won't kill again. Hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory. Admittedly, it's scary these days. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world and things feel really out of control, so today, we're taking control back into our own hands. We're taking one of the scariest, most powerful monsters in all of horror cinema, one who attacks when we're most helpless, when we're asleep, and we're beating him at his own game. We're learning how to defeat the dream killer, Freddy Krueger. Loyal theorists, Grandpappy MatPat wants to take you on a stroll down memory lane to the time when he was a wee little child and still went to Blockbuster. For you see, kids, in those days, Blockbuster still existed. Now, I loved the video store, partially for the video game rentals, partially for the Sour Patch Kids, and partially for the mystery of whatever was in that back room with the red light that my dad liked so much. Was it World War II documentaries? Knowing my dad, it was probably World War II documentaries. I guess I'll never know. Anyway, my other memories of going to Blockbuster include timidly walking down the horror movie aisle, my young mind curious about all those scary R-rated movies that I was too young and too much of a chicken to watch. I was always careful not to stop and look too long at any of the boxes because even those were enough to give me nightmares. A giant shark looming under an unsuspecting swimmer, still the reason I don't swim. Death spa, you'll sweat blood, still the reason I don't exercise. A green ghoulie popping out of the toilet,
This is gonna be some sweet fish value here. Even if it looks kind of like a polynomial of the second degree, it's not, simply because linear factors are going to cancel out. And it's probably algebra related when it comes to reducible and irreducible polynomials. This thing has been reducible, and you have to reduce it. It's going to give us -1, 1/3 x, and then we are going to have negative, oh, my microphone was quite weird, -3/4. 4/3, I'm terribly sorry. Okay, and then we can make use of the quadratic formula that's equal to 0, is going to end us up with x, 1 and 2, supposedly roots, are thus 1, 6 plus minus the square root of 1/36 plus 4/3. We can multiply both sides by, so we can expand this fraction, I'm terribly sorry, by 12/12, leaving us with 48/36. And then we are going to get 1 plus minus the square root of 49, so plus minus 7/6 is going to leave us with the first root being equal to 1 minus 7 is going to give us -1, and the second root. So this was apparently part of an exercise or test, and it's probably there to trick people into doing something completely wrong. So -1 was the first one, and then we are going to get 8/6 is going to give us 4/3. I hope this does work out. Yeah, it should. So now, thing is, he plugged it into the original equation and it did not work out. So he plugged those solutions in and it did not work out, because if we plug this into here, it becomes unbounded. It's a 0/0 situation, and even if you take the limit as it approaches -1, you should end up with 1/2 being equal to 3. Okay, if you let the limit go to -1, are going to end up with a false statement. So what did he wrong? What did he do wrong? So that's the question right here. In my opinion, you found out roots where there are none. Okay. Thing is, what you should have probably done is, so this is the first thing I do when I see the difference of two squares. If you have this denominator down here, x squared minus 1 is the difference of two squares, same as x plus 1 times x minus 1, meaning x plus 1 and 1/x+1 are going to cancel out, leaving us with 3 being equal to 1/x minus 1. And now you can solve for your x's. Okay, you can multiply both sides by x minus 1 at first, and then we're going to get 3x minus 3 is equal to 1, meaning overall x is equal to 4/3. And this is a root. But maybe you can see something here. What you did is, so this one works out, but this one does not. What you did was multiply both sides by a 0, basically. And this is where everything goes wrong, because what you have overall is a polynomial of the first degree. Even this thing up here, even if it looks kind of like a polynomial of the second degree, it's not, simply because linear factors are going to cancel out. And it's probably algebra related when it comes to reducible and irreducible polynomials. This thing has been reducible, and you have to reduce it at first before you start finding out the roots. One of the roots was correct, but the next one was not, simply because you found a root where there is none. You have a polynomial of the first degree and not a polynomial of the second degree. This is probably what went wrong. And yeah, this is just my 2 cents to the whole deal brought to the table. I hope you did enjoy this video. Please leave your comments down below. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Now my Hagoromo chalk fell down, but it did not break, because it's Hagoromo fucking chalk, mate. It's so durable. You should all get yourself Hagoromo Chalk. Yeah, what should I say? Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to support the channel by buying the t-shirts I create or yada 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 whatsoever. And up until the next video, have a flammable day. Ciao. Maybe you want to see through my glasses? Is this weird? This is probably really weird. Oh yeah, I'm having such bad eyes, mate. Ciao. This building right there had cost $90 million, or so the city guide said. And this guy is taking photos with his tablet. That's quite weird actually. And yeah, it has nearly no right angles, this building, so that's quite unusual. It looks pretty good. Good morning, fellow mathematicians. Welcome back to another video brought to you by Hagoromo Chalk. I actually have a little improvised session right here, and it's going to be something different, not an integral. It has to do with some simple algebra, and this is going to feel heavily like a really nice ripoff. And it's a little improvised session right here. And good morning, fellow mathematicians. Welcome back to another video brought to you by Hagoromo Chalk. I actually have a little improvised session right here, and it's going to be something different, not an integral. It has to do with some simple algebra, and this is going to feel heavily like a really nice ripoff. And it's going to probably have a clickbaity title like don't trust Wolfram Alpha, only trust your own math skills, bruh, you fucking math jet. So yeah, I'm Mr. Chattington right here, and let me see, we are going to have the third root of, this is 8 plus 3 square root of 21, and then plus the conjugate right here. Let me put this away, meaning this is nothing but the third root of 8 minus 3 times the square root of 21. And OP is actually asking for a solution to this thing. He said he found this on Facebook in some math group like Integral Part of Happiness or something. And yeah, I'm only doing an improvisation on this thing right here because it's always the same thing you have to do. So you give this a new name, do some binomial theorem stuff, and yeah, then you're basically done. I'm going to put my cable away, and then we're going to start after the intro meme, bruh. So this right here is basically a huge joke, but it's fun calculating stuff like this from time to time because the answers are so unexpected, and we are dealing with the third root of something, meaning this thing right here has actually 3 solutions, not only one, but I guess only one is going to be a real solution right here. We're going to give this a new name. We are going to define this as just the sum a plus b, and a plus b in itself is nothing but another number c, okay? One number 9. And what you can basically do, you don't have to give it a new name, but it is convenient to give it a new name. What the basic thing is you want to do is to get rid of those thirds right here, meaning in a normal case you would like to either multiply this with the conjugate in some way, okay, if you have square roots, or you are going to take it to the third power and do some coefficient comparing, okay? But what we are going to do is we are going to take a look at a and b, and then we are going to cube them separately because, yeah, right, so this thing right here is a and this thing right here is b, and we are going to cube it, okay? So a to the third power is thus nothing but 8 plus 3 square root of 21. And b to the third power is then the conjugate, 8 minus 3 square root of 21. My name is Jeff. Okay, now if we would make use of the binomial theorem, meaning what I said, we are going to cube both sides, okay? We are going to get definitely some a times b terms. That's something you're going to get. Like if you have a plus b, but the whole thing squared, is going to be a squared plus b squared plus 2 times ab. So we are always bound to have some kind of a times b factor. It doesn't matter if it's a times b squared or something you're going to get through this binomial expansion. We're just going to take a look at their product right now. Okay, so if we multiply a to the third power and this thing together, we are going to get, okay, this right here is going to result in a difference of 2 squares, meaning it's 64, right? And then negative 3 times 3 is 9, number 9, oh! Big smoke meme, and then, yeah, square root of 21 squared is just 21. This right here is nothing but 64 minus, that's giving us 180, 189. 4, and this is going to be a 5, and this is going to be 20, so negative 125. And a to the third power times b cubed is nothing but a times b to the third power, okay? So that's the same expression right here. Like I said, it's kind of an algorithm you can just go through. Meaning if we take the third root on both sides, we're actually going to get 3 solutions in the normal case. I just want to take a look at the simple real solution that we are going to get. Namely, that a times b is nothing but the third root.
Still the reason I don't... Well, you get the idea. Prep an extra set of bed sheets hopping out of the spa. You'll arc looming under an unsuspecting swimmer. Still the reason I don't swim. Death spa. You'll sweat blood. Still the reason I don't exercise. A green ghoulie popping out of the toilet. Still the reason I don't... Well, you get the idea. Prep an extra set of bed sheets, ma, cause Baby Pat is waking up damp. But of all the best 80s horror classics that dominated those VHS displays, A Nightmare on Elm Street is probably the most memorable. For one, just because there are so many of them. After the original came out in 1984, the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise created 4 sequels in less than 5 years. It's a release calendar that would make the likes of Scott Cawthon jealous. But as a kid with just a passing knowledge of the horror movie universe, Freddy is probably the monster who scared me the most. Sure, Jason Voorhees is more imposing and bloodthirsty, but I didn't go to camp. Or space, for that matter, which seemed like the main prerequisite for getting killed by him. Pinhead? Yeah, can't solve a Rubik's Cube to save my life. But Freddy Krueger? A monster who attacks in your dreams? Seems like cheating. To make matters even creepier, Wes Craven was inspired by the real story of several refugees who died suddenly and inexplicably in their sleep. Something we just talked about recently over on Game Theory, in fact. Link is in the corner. But yeah, Freddy is not only inescapable, he's actually based on something real. What defense do we have against all of that? None. Or so I thought for the last 25 years. But friends, today it's time to put Freddy to sleep for good. That's right, theorists. You can all sleep a little tighter tonight after watching this episode because we're gonna show you how to survive Freddy Krueger and keep him confined to Dreamland once and for all. Turn out the lights and tuck yourself in. It's time to put Freddy to Betty. And yeah, I know that line was cheesy, but it's on brand for these movies. I mean, have you heard the lines this guy uses? His puns are worse than mine.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Welcome to prime time.
I rest my case. The first step in learning how to defeat Freddy Krueger is to study all the times that he's been defeated in the past, to see if we can get any pointers from there. And so I called in the expert, the master of all things horror and gore here on YouTube. It's none other than James A. Janice from the YouTube channel Dead Meat, the man who is most known for counting all the dead bodies in every single horror movie out there, a concept that I may or may not have ripped off for my Disney Death series. I just loved his work, but figured he wouldn't do it to Mulan anytime soon, so I took it upon myself. James, what do you got to say about Freddy?
Hey buddy, thanks for including me in this video. In the original A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy is pulled out of the dream world and is burned by a Molotov cocktail. Except that doesn't quite finish the job. Our final girl, Nancy, realizes that without fear, Freddy has no power, so she just turns her back on him and he vaporizes. Apparently, Freddy's life force is roughly the same as Tinkerbell's, because if you ignore them, they die. Only in Freddy's case, he comes back, and in A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, he possesses a teenage boy to kill for him, until his girlfriend sees the only way to defeat Freddy is by kissing him and freeing her boyfriend's soul that's trapped inside of him. In A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, Freddy is a terrorizing a pediatric psych ward, and we get the backstory that he's a real son of a nun whose bones need to be laid to rest. This time he's killed when his bones are doused in holy water and topped with a cross because of the power of Jesus, I guess. A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the Dream Master gives Freddy the Medusa treatment when our new final girl Alice recites a nursery rhyme and makes Freddy look at his own reflection. That causes the souls inside of him to rip him to shreds. One of his souls is played by Linnea Quigley. Fun fact. The fifth installation, The Dream Child, has Freddy lose to his demon apprentice who turns Freddy into a baby. It's just as stupid as it sounds. Other installments kill Freddy via bomb, decapitation, throat attack, so basically we've got two takeaway lessons here. One, there is no reliable or consistent way to kill Freddy and prevent him from ever coming back. And two, not even dream demons are immune to dope rhymes. Nursery rhymes, that is.
So if there's no offensive strategy to kill Freddy, then what are our defensive options for keeping him from killing us? The first is the most obvious one. Don't sleep. I know just what you're saying, and it's duh. Unfortunately, this isn't the best solution. Not because we're bad at not sleeping, quite the contrary, in fact. According to the CDC, 1 in 3 Americans isn't getting enough sleep, and that's without us even trying. No, the problem is that we will always end up falling asleep at the end of long periods of staying awake. In the 1960s, a high school student named Randy Gardner broke the record for the longest stretch of being awake at 11 days, 25 minutes, which he did for a school project. But you know what he did when it was all over? Fall asleep for a total of 25 hours spread across 2 days. And Freddy is a patient man. He waited several years between being burned by the parents of Springwood, Ohio, and eventually taking his revenge on their kids. So even if you stay up for a solid week playing Minecraft, he'll catch you right when you're about to start dreaming of diamond armor. I mean, you could try to push Randy Gardner's record, but that's also gonna run you into a lot of problems. There are no known cases of a human death caused by a simple lack of sleep, but tests have been done to monitor the effects of extreme sleep deprivation on lab rats, because apparently scientists are in a constant competition to see who can kill rats in the most creatively cruel way possible. After about a month, all the rats were dead due to mysterious reasons, but suspected all the reasons were tied back to their lack of sleep. Again, I go into way more detail about all of these things over on that game theory episode. It's almost as if these two episodes were meant to be watched together and somehow the programming schedule got shifted in some way. Huh, go figure. Anyway, suffice it to say that the length of time which humans could stay awake without dying is probably not identical to that of rats, but there's no reason to believe that it be significantly longer. So basically, we find ourselves in a catch-22 here. If you sleep, Freddy is gonna kill ya. If you don't sleep, your body is gonna kill ya. So what is the answer then? Well, remember that Freddy isn't just a killer who attacks in our sleep, he's a killer who attacks in our dreams. No dreams, no Freddy. We're not always dreaming when we sleep. Realistically, the vast majority of our dreams, and pretty much any dream you'd actually remember, takes place during rapid eye movement, or REM cycles of sleep. I would insert another 90s music joke here, but you know, copyright issues. So just know that the thought was there, and it's just a missed opportunity for everyone. REM sleep usually occurs in about know that the thought was there, and it's just a missed opportunity for everyone. REM sleep usually occurs in about 10-minute bursts at the end of the sleep cycle, which lasts roughly 90 minutes. The longer you sleep, the longer those REM cycles will become, so one possibility is sleeping for shorter periods that prevent us from going into REM. And that brings us to our next candidate to defeating Freddy: polyphasic sleep. Most people engage in what's known as monophasic sleep. You're awake all day, you go to bed for one long stretch at night, you wake up, you rinse, you repeat. Polyphasic sleep, on the other hand, seeks to boost productivity by giving people shorter, separated periods of sleep throughout the day. It was allegedly used by Leonardo da Vinci, who I think I can safely say was a reasonably productive dude. The most popular versions of polyphasic sleep tend to still have a longer stretch of sleep at night with some naps sprinkled throughout the day, but both the Uberman and Dymaxion models call for no more than 30 minutes of sleep at a time. Foolproof plan, right? Not so fast. For one, medical professionals are very dubious about the benefits of polyphasic sleep. A doctor from the UCLA Sleep Disorder Center was quoted in Time magazine as saying, quote, "There is very little data, none whatsoever in the medical literature, of carefully designed clinical studies demonstrating that polyphasic sleep has any advantage in human sleep medicine," end quote. Well, thanks a lot, Dr. Killjoy. But even if polyphasic sleep isn't exactly good for you, it's still a cheat code to getting around REM sleep, right? Nope. Once you start depriving your body of sleep, it actually starts to enter REM sleep faster than it otherwise would. A big selling point for people who advocate polyphasic sleep is that it should in fact increase the amount of time that you're spending in REM sleep. So paradoxically enough, less sleep actually means more REM, and more REM means more dreams, and more dreams means more Freddy. So the real question is, how do we sleep while avoiding REM altogether? And that requires a little more understanding of how REM works in the brain. Most of the neural activity that takes place during REM sleep comes from the brainstem. In particular, the pontine tegmentum and the locus coeruleus. But if you're thinking we can just deactivate those parts of the brain, or any other parts that contribute to REM and dreaming, that's sort of like dealing with a clogged toilet by burning down your house. Take away much function from the brainstem and all of a sudden you're gonna have a lot of problems with muscle control, including the ones that you need to pump your heart and help you breathe. So if the or any other parts that contribute to REM and dreaming, that's sort of like dealing with a clogged toilet by burning down your house. Take away much function from the brainstem and all of a sudden you're gonna have a lot of problems with muscle control, including the ones that you need to pump your heart and help you breathe. So if the goal is still not to die, well, that's a no-go solution. There are some very early indications that REM can be turned on and off by the activation of certain neurons, but this has only occurred in mice that were genetically engineered to have certain receptors to allow scientists to control their brains that way, because again, scientists are just bored little kids who make rats stay awake until they die and like to control mouse brains with lights. So from the brain's electrical perspective, you're probably stuck with REM sleep. But there are also chemical reactions in your brain that are required for REM to take place. And that, my friends, is where we finally find our answer. For the chemical reaction to trigger REM sleep, our brain needs to produce a lot of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, and they need to eliminate monoamine neurotransmitters like norepinephrine and serotonin. You don't really want to get rid of your brain's ability to produce acetylcholine, as that's going to lead to issues like weakness, fatigue, cognitive impairment, constipation, chronic inflammation. However, if you can keep your brain from removing those other neurotransmitters, the monoamine neurotransmitters, you can nip REM sleep right in the bud. And lucky enough for us, there's a whole class of drugs that'll do exactly that. Monoamine oxidase inhibitors, also known as MAOIs, are a class of antidepressants that were developed in the 1950s and are still being used today, though less often than the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SSRIs, that many are familiar with, to treat things like panic disorders, atypical depression, PTSD, and other conditions. The whole job of MAOIs is to promote the brain's production of the exact neurotransmitters that the brain needs to sweep away in order to produce REM sleep. People who take MAOIs have been observed to have their REM sleep effectively eradicated from their nights. Now, I know what you're gonna say. Okay, MatPat, but there's always a catch. Now you're gonna tell me that not having REM sleep is gonna make your eyes bleed or turn your toes into cocktail sausages or something weird. And I understand why you'd think that. I do like throwing in that there's a catch. But in this case, the twist is that there is no twist. Multiple scientists have described people without REM sleep as experiencing no real defects and being at no particular health risk. So interestingly enough, if you've got panic attacks or PTSD as a result of Freddy Krueger, the same drugs that you would have taken to address the effects are actually the same drugs that you're gonna need to get rid of the cause in the first place. Those are the things that are gonna keep you safe. More monoamine neurotransmitters equals less REM sleep equals zero Freddy. Wait a second. If Freddy Krueger is defeated by antidepressants, does that mean that the whole Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is about mental illness? This idea of a silent killer, one only you can see that operates in your brain and can be deadly if it's not dealt with, it makes a lot of sense. Maybe a Nightmare on Elm Street was actually more sensitive, more culturally aware, more subtle than we could have ever thought. Or, you know, maybe not. Not all theories can be winners. But hey, do me a favor and go check out James's channel, Dead Meat. Like I said, his channel is great. If you are a fan of horror movies, then, well, chances are you've probably seen his channel here on YouTube, because he is the man when it comes to counting all the deaths in your favorite and also least favorite, never before heard from horror movies out there. Anyway, his channel is great, his podcast is great, and he is just a fantastic, really nice guy. So please show him some love, click the link that you see on screen, and leave in the comments below that you came from the Film Theorist channel. And I don't know if you could do me a favor and work into your comment the word dongle. If you could say the word dongle somewhere in your comment, that would be awesome. You could say like, hey, MatPat sent me, stop stealing his dongle. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for showing James from Dead Meat some love. And remember, that's just a theory. A film theory. And sweet dreams.